Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moments. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Swallowed Star 2 episode number 198 based on novel. So let's start. The first holy land of the innate primordial life camp is the Infinite World, home to the Infinite Great Serpent clan, with more than 10 ancestors at the ancestor level. The second holy land is the Giant God Realm, which is also a special world no less than the Infinite World. The life born here is a world-level primordial life from birth. Their size is among the largest in the innate primordial life camp. The group proliferated in the Giant God Realm is also known as the Giant God Race, which is the second largest group, second only to the Infinite Great Serpent clan, with 10 reaching the ancestor level. Buzz. The Infinite Snake Ancestor, Silent Extinction Ancestor, Inference Fire Ancestor, Infinite Ancestor, with a single thought, their incarnations descended upon the Giant God Realm. The Giant God Realm is inhabited by thousands of gigantic creatures, at least 20 to 30% the size of the source world. Some enormous beings comparable to Lord Wulan look distantly at the 4 incarnations. The Infinite Snake Ancestor and the others have arrived. I heard they clashed with the cultivator camp and fell behind. Now they come to seek our help. Each gigantic creature communicated telepathically, gloating. The Giant God Race and the Infinite Race have significant conflicts. However, currently, the Infinite Snake Ancestor holds the highest prestige in the innate primordial life camp. After all, besides its formidable strength, the Infinite Snake Ancestor is also undying and undying. Giant God Brother. The 4 incarnations arrived at a spot, looking at a massive creature before them. It is a bipedal giant beast, covered in black and golden scales with a pair of massive wings besides its arms. Just sitting there, it dwarfs a source world. In terms of size, across the entire infinite primordial world, it ranks among the top 3. It is several times larger than Wulan. It is one of the 9 emperors of the innate primordial life camp, the Giant God Emperor. Also the leader of the Giant God Race. This time, the 3 emperors who did not participate in the battle are led by the Giant God Emperor. In terms of sheer frontal power, it is considered the most formidable among the 9 emperors. However, its ability to protect itself is weaker, and several beings can threaten its existence. The cultivator Lord Yuan is particularly restraining it. Naturally, its status in the innate primordial life camp is far weaker than the Infinite Snake Ancestor. I heard you were defeated. The Giant God Emperor looked with great interest at the 4. A new lord has appeared, joining forces with 8 lords, making it very tricky. The Infinite Snake Ancestor said, "We indeed cannot win, so we need your help from you 3. The Giant God Emperor nodded slightly, and then 2 terrifying forces appeared beside them. A massive black mist avian descended nearby, its countless black mist like countless calamities coalesced, naturally bringing down endless calamity power when engaging with enemies. Another was a fat giant beast with sleek fur, its colorful fur constantly changing, with each strand containing endless void, smiling as it looked at the 4 in front of them. Black Tide Ancestor, Primordial Beast Ancestor. All 4 incarnations greeted. Black Tide Ancestor and Primordial Beast Ancestor are also among the 9 emperors. The most crucial point is, they do not belong to any group, being unique existences. In the infinite primordial void, such unique existences mostly do not consider themselves part of the innate primordial life camp. These 2 have excellent relations with the Giant God Emperor and tacitly acknowledge themselves as part of the innate primordial life camp. They rarely take action at least. You all should understand, this battle cannot be lost. The Infinite Snake Ancestor said, considering the full strength of our group, if we lose to the cultivator camp, our innate primordial life camp's intimidating power will be greatly reduced in the future. I don't like war. The Giant God Emperor sighed softly. It prefers calmly watching the myriad things in the infinite primordial space, observing various grudges and conflicts, enjoying being a bystander. I have never withheld the resources that should be supplied to the Giant God Race. The Infinite Snake Ancestor said, at this juncture, you still refuse to fight? Allowing the cultivator camp to trample over us? Silent Extinction Ancestor, Infinite Ancestor, Inference Fire Ancestor all looked at the Giant God Emperor. The innate primordial life camp is divided into two factions, one with the infinite snake ancestor at its core, and the other with the giant god emperor at its core. I understand, this battle cannot be lost. The giant god emperor nodded, but we are only willing to participate in this battle. After this battle, we will withdraw. Beside them, the black tide ancestor and primordial beast ancestor also nodded, clearly agreeing with the giant god emperor's statement. Rest assured. The infinite snake ancestor nodded, the cultivator camp has gained a new lord, and this new lord can instantly restore their companions to the pinnacle. They have become even trickier. After winning this battle, I will also take the opportunity to end the war. Losing the battle ends the war. Winning the battle ends the war. The difference between the two is significant. The infinite snake ancestor needs to carry the momentum of defeating the 8 lords to prove to the entire infinite primordial space that they are still the strongest. How much do you know about the new lord? The primordial beast ancestor inquired from the side. Since we are going to war, we need to understand everything about the opponent. Buzz. A multiclawed exotic beast crawled out of space-time, its claws easily grasping individual timelines. After crawling out, it spoke. I have investigated many past timelines and have clarified the background of the new Lord Luofeng. Luofeng, born in the Dark World group, Origin Continent Origin World. There are obstacles within the Source World, and little is known. It's only known that his cultivation time is very short, the multiclawed exotic beast said. He cultivated for less than 10,000 epochs, reaching what the cultivator camp calls the extreme under the braided cage, and then cultivated for less than 2,000 epochs, directly becoming a lord from under the braided cage. From under the braided cage, directly becoming a lord. The 4 incarnations, as well as the giant god emperor, black tide ancestor, and primordial beast ancestor, were all shocked. Yes, I haven't found any information about him becoming a world-level primordial. Even his homeland Source World was only refined after he participated in the battle, the multiclawed exotic beast said. Regardless of whether he became world-level primordial, he became a lord from under the braided cage in less than 2,000 epochs. The giant god emperor couldn't help but say, based on my understanding of the cultivator system, his talent and potential exceed those of the previous 7 lords. Truly tricky. The infinite snake ancestor also felt troubled. Watching the rise of the cultivator camp helplessly, they have no means. Infinite snake ancestor indeed does not need to consume the Source World Origin anymore. However, for its clan, the entire infinite Great Serpent clan, the best food is the Source World Origin. For the sake of the clan, it is not willing to give up. They are getting stronger, and our innate primordial life camp is also growing stronger, the silent extinction ancestor said calmly. Which of the 2 great camps will win or lose is still uncertain. The 2 great camps. One side has countless source worlds, a continuous source of younger powers, and perhaps a new lord might be born. The other side has a vast infinite primordial space, countless innate primordial lives, and the speed of a new ancestor being born is much faster than a lord. Both of these great camps understand that the other is their greatest opponent. They fight the hardest against each other. Like the current Ice Peak camp, it is an alliance of 12 entities from the land of eternity, seeming very powerful. However, firstly, they have no subsequent power. Secondly, being an alliance, they are not united enough. The 2 great camps currently fighting the hardest are much more united. This Lord Luofeng is a newly broken through lord, the giant god emperor pondered before saying, taking advantage of his current inexperience, we must destroy the cultivator camp in one fell swoop. In the future, when he becomes more comprehensively powerful, he will be much more troublesome. When do you plan to set out? Infinite Snake Ancestor asked. The sooner, the better, the giant god emperor said calmly. Once the ancestors decide to gather, the speed is very fast. The giant god emperor, primordial beast ancestor, and black tide ancestor take the lead, along with more than 20 other ancestors willing to follow them, plus some resting ancestors at the rear, totaling 35 ancestors gathering together. I will lead everyone on the journey. A multiclawed exotic beast led these 35 ancestors, swiftly crossing multiple timelines, heading towards the cultivator territory. I have long said, There is no need to corner the cultivator side too much. If you push them too hard, they might become a significant threat, perhaps forcing a strong figure to emerge. They should be allowed to be more at ease. Yes, even if we completely break through all the cultivator territories, so what? Once those 7 lords have no territorial concerns, they will go completely mad. With the huge hatred between them, the 7 lords will continuously seek revenge. Infinite Snake Ancestor is too confident. It is for the whole infinite race. The fastest way for the infinite race to grow is by consuming the source world origin. Our giant god race can slowly absorb the primordial force. We don't need to consume the source world origin at all. The ancestors were discussing among themselves. The giant god emperor and the others were quite candid too. Acting alone, the giant god emperor indeed has significant weaknesses. However, once teamed up with companions, Primordial Beast Ancestor and Black Tide Ancestor, their methods complement each other. There are no weaknesses. Comparable to 3 entities from the Land of Eternity joining forces. That's why the 3 of them have the qualification to become the second largest faction of the innate primordial life camp. 35 ancestors have set off. Led by the giant god emperor. Truly worthy of the innate primordial life camp, mobilizing such a terrifying force. Reaching the ancestor level, each life form's fluctuation is very strong. Unless someone like Luo Feng, who is adept at life, can restrain all fluctuations. Otherwise, once an ancestor level existence acts, the same level of existence can clearly sense it. A collective action of 35, the terrifying fluctuations can be remotely sensed by forces from all sides in the infinite primordial space. Only the Cultivator Camp and Ice Peak Camp could possibly withstand this collective action of 35, various parties side. Although there are many forces in the infinite primordial space, none have the confidence to withstand 35 ancestors joining forces. The 8 lords of the Cultivator Camp are indeed terrifying. Capable of suppressing 73 ancestors. Forcing the innate primordial life camp's ancestors to almost all come out. With over 100 ancestors joining forces, although each of the 8 lords of the Cultivator Camp is very strong, they probably still can't withstand it. Various forces are watching this terrifying confrontation. Cultivator Territory. The enormous sphere, initial ancestor, hovered there, with numerous ancestors temporarily hiding inside it, restoring strength and patiently waiting for their companions' support. The 8 lords formed a battle array, completely covering this area. 35 ancestors have set off. Yuan looked distantly. Luo Feng and others all looked into the distance. Their gaze could sense and see those 35 ancestors from afar. The giant god emperor and the others have also made a move, Yuan said with a serious expression. The 3 of them joining forces is no less than 3 strong entities from the Land of Eternity. Starlight Lord frowned. With over 100 ancestors joining forces, especially with the 9 emperors acting together, their overall strength will surpass ours. I will inform everyone of the possible combat scenarios in many future timelines. Luo Feng, Lord Wulan, Jin, Mo Man, Nai Jiyu, Ming Huang all felt the pressure. The cooperation on the cultivator side is much stronger, with Starlight observing numerous future timelines, and his space-time domain integrates into the entire battle array, plus Yuan's formation, which perfectly coordinates the power of each lord. In comparison, the cooperation on the ancestor side is much cruder, but the sheer number is overwhelming, with over 100 ancestors, especially the 9 emperors as the core. Their overall strength is still extraordinarily strong. Winning this battle will make things much easier in the future, Starlight said softly. We must win. Jin gazed into the distance. Luo Feng knew well that, according to the various cooperation plans studied by the lords, he is the key factor in winning this battle. After all, he is the newly broken through one and the external world knows the least about him. The 8 lords waited quietly. Among the innate primordial life camp's 9 emperors, initial and mother of spacetime, are included because of their undying status, as their attack abilities rank middle to lower among the ancestors. However, the other 7 have extremely terrifying strength. It's time. At this moment, the 8 lords were poised to strike. The entire infinite primordial space, with some beings of the same level, were watching from afar. Boom! Suddenly, the always calm initial ancestor erupted with an extremely dazzling light on the surface, encompassing a vast area with infinite brilliance. At the same moment, 35 ancestors also appeared within the area illuminated by this light. The previously hidden ancestors all revealed themselves as well. A total of 105 ancestors completely gathered. Except for a few newly advanced ancestors, those who refused to follow orders, and severely injured ancestors, the rest have completely assembled. Led by the 9 emperors, a total of 105 ancestors gathered here. Destroy the cultivator lords. Annihilate them. This time, the innate primordial life camp had long prepared a plan, and the moment they gathered, they unleashed their fury without reservation. The highest level of power mastered by the 105 ancestors, after a simple coordination, overwhelmed the 8 lords of the cultivators like a tidal wave. Rumble tilde tilde tilde. The power and domain of the 8 lords, under the array formation deployment, fully resisted. But it only slightly hindered the attack before the endless terrifying onslaught fell upon Wu Lan and Luo Feng. This might, the expressions of Golden Lord, Lord Mo Man, Lord Minghuang, and Lord Nai Jiyu all changed. In the face of the absolute power of over 100 ancestors combined, unless one's ability to preserve their life is incredibly strong, they would be utterly destroyed. The main battle avatars of these 4 couldn't resist such power. Yuan and Starlight also could only dodge in the face of such might. But in this collective confrontation, while they both could dodge, the other lords couldn't. Boom! Luo Feng and Wu Lan both felt the endlessly heavy might crushing down on them. Ha ha ha, exhilarating. Wu Lan laughed loudly, even wanting to actively intercept many powers, his massive body formed by primordial material Tao continuously sustaining injuries, but he didn't care about these injuries. Target Luo Feng. The ancestors' side tried to avoid Wu Lan as much as possible, so even if Wu Lan actively wanted to intercept, he could only block about half of the power. The remaining half of the power fell on Luo Feng. The various highest level powers wantonly fell on Luo Feng, corroding, destroying, and wreaking havoc. The pressure is a bit much. The protective energy layer on Luo Feng's surface was penetrated again and again, and 10 billion 8 million origins frantically replenishing, along with various forces tearing at and destroying Luo Feng's body. Luo Feng's body cracked with many wounds, staining part of his body with blood, with much more severe injuries. But Luo Feng's physical body only accounted for 1 portion of energy, while 10 billion 8 million origins accounted for 10 portions of energy. Even if the physical body was severely injured, Luo Feng, with his terrifying life force, could partially restore from the void. Plus, with the recovery of 10 billion 8 million origins, the physical condition was still within the bearable range. Instead, the protective energy layer consumption was somewhat significant. In the span of a breath, approximately 5% of the energy reserve is consumed. Luo Feng sensed. Previously, facing 73 ancestors, Luo Feng would consume 1% of the energy reserve in the battle array within the span of a breath. Now, it had increased 5-fold. Clearly, as the power continued to rise, the damage to Luo Feng would increase exponentially. If the power reached a certain limit, Luo Feng's main battle avatar could also be blasted apart. This Luo Feng withstood it. The numerous ancestors led by the 9 emperors were secretly surprised. They could sense that Luo Feng's body was significantly less resilient than Wu Lan's body, with much more severe injuries. Yet Luo Feng withstood it, continuously maintaining in the pinnacle state. You should also try our Lord's tricks. A voice rang among the many ancestors. Lord Mo Man burned his main battle avatar, and the vast spacetime where the ancestors resided suddenly turned into countless musical notes, vibrating. The entire spacetime turned into a song, echoing in every ancestor's soul. For the invisible attack, targeting both body and soul. Group tactics, no ancestor could avoid it, they could only endure it. The 10+ ancestors who were severely injured last time, although somewhat recovered after 10 days of truce with the help of their companions, still had 3 with rather severe injuries, which suddenly worsened in the face of Lord Mo Man's move. Ha ha, this time we shall kill a few more ancestors. Jin's voice also rang. He burned all his power into 13 black spheres, which appeared in the area where the ancestors were, erupting instantly and obliterating the surrounding vast area. Subsequently, brilliant golden lightning also descended, striking one by one, locking onto enemies with no escape. Ignore it. Annihilate them quickly. While Mo Man, Jin, and Ming Huang were launching moves one after another, the 9 emperors remained unfazed, having already understood the Lord's means, naturally having countermeasures. They couldn't stop these Lord's lethal strikes, so they didn't bother defending them. Arranged for the Infinite Ancestor, in cooperation with Mother of Spacetime, initial coordinated to save some severely injured ancestors, whereas the other 6 of the extremely powerful 9 emperors led the ancestors in a full-force attack. Wu Lan. Along with an earth-shattering roar, Infinite Snake Ancestor roared. Its gigantic figure instantly became blurred, its blurred figure enlarging by 1,000-fold, tens of thousands of times, making it much larger than all the ancestors combined. It bore the name of Infinite. It could indeed become infinitely large, with the largest size even bigger than an entire world cluster, and it could also fuse with the infinite void, becoming completely undying and imperishable. Only in that state, it had no attack power. First, it became huge and covered Wu Lan. Then, it instantly condensed and shrank. An immense serpent's body confined Wu Lan completely at the abdomen. Furthermore, 2 terrifying forces merged into the serpent's body, one being the silent extinction ancestor, transforming into a mass of black light wrapping around half of Wu Lan's body. The other was the inference fire ancestor, resembling a flaming star, enveloping the other half of Wu Lan's body. The infinite snake ancestor, inference fire ancestor, and silent extinction ancestor, all well versed in confinement, joined forces, making it difficult for even Wu Lan's formidable body to escape. Previously, the inference fire ancestor had devoured Wu Lan, confining her for about a breath of time. Now, with 3 of them working together, Wu Lan could not break free at all. Break! Wu Lan struggled with all her might. Despite their Lord-level combat power, and with their cooperation, Wu Lan couldn't break free regardless of her strength. Extinguish Luo Feng! At this moment, 2 ancestors were severely injured and hid within the initial ancestor's body. As the 3 infinite snake ancestors held Wu Lan in check, exactly 100 ancestors remained. These 100 ancestors acted together, weaving a tapestry of highest-level powers directed at Luo Feng. Although missing 3 of the strongest among the 9 emperors, the Infinite Snake Ancestor, Inference Fire Ancestor, and Silent Extinction Ancestor as commanders, the overall strength of these 100 ancestors decreased by at least 20%, yet this show of power still frightened Luo Feng. Space-time maze. The Starlight Lord took action. Among the ancestors, the highest void attainment belonged to the Infinite Snake Ancestor, who repeatedly clashed secretly with the Starlight Lord. Though disadvantaged, it indeed impacted the Starlight Lord's spacetime techniques. Currently, the Infinite Snake Ancestor needed to fully suppress Wu Lan within. Wu Lan's resistance was too strong. In this situation, the Infinite Snake Ancestor couldn't fully manipulate the void. As for the Mother of Spacetime, her void attainment was not up to par with the Infinite Snake Ancestor, and her time attainment was far less than the Starlight. Booming. The terrifying power unleashed by the 100 ancestors caused the spacetime maze to be fragmented in the face of absolute might. Yet it still forcibly redirected 3 to 4/10 of the power, with the remaining power then impacting the battle array. After being blocked and weakened by the formation, it finally fell upon Luo Feng, who felt it was only about 10% stronger than before, still within the bearable range. This Starlight Lord. The ancestor side was also troubled. With the Infinite Snake Ancestor fully suppressing Wu Lan, the Starlight Lord could unleash his spacetime methods freely. Boom! Amid the terrifying power from the ancestor side, an immense, colossal figure took a step to appear near Luo Feng. Its size was immense, several times larger than Wu Lan. Its entire body was covered with black golden scales, its enormous wings were exceedingly sharp, and a massive circle of colorful light surrounded it, with endless black mist permeating its surroundings. Giant God Emperor. Primordial Beast Ancestor. Black Tide Ancestor. Luo Feng recognized them at a glance. That immense colorful light domain was transformed by one of the 9 emperors, the primordial beast ancestor whose body constituted the most terrifying domain in the infinite primordial space. Within their domain, even the Starlight Lord couldn't manipulate any void power. If closely observed, one could see that the enormous colorful light domain was actually a fat giant beast with colorful hair. For every part in the domain was its hair, its body. Other strong figures naturally couldn't manipulate any void power. The Starlight Lord could only escape this domain using the timeline. Outside the colorful light domain, the endless black mist was the transformed body of the Black Tide Ancestor. The Black Tide Ancestor turned into an endless black tide disaster. It was also a disaster domain power. Its domain suppression was weaker than the primordial beast ancestor, yet various disasters befell upon enemies within. The Black Tide Disaster Domain and Primordial Beast Ancestor Domain, dual domains enveloped the body, combined with its most terrifying body. In this state, the giant god emperor had no weaknesses. Bang! It carried the massive domains, tearing through the void to appear in front of Luo Feng. Scram! Luo Feng slashed out a fierce blade. The blade light roared past the Black Tide Disaster Domain, then through the stronger Primordial Beast Ancestor Colorful Light Domain. The blade light was thoroughly submerged, unable to even touch the terrifying body of the giant god emperor. The giant god emperor approached, with massive arms ready to embrace, and huge wings covered forth. Even the colorful light domain and the Black Tide Domain engulfed Luo Feng. This domain, the various disaster powers of the Black Tide Domain did not bother Luo Feng, as his endless life force could resist. But the bindings of the Black Tide Domain and the endless colorful lights shrouding and binding made every movement extremely laborious for Luo Feng. As the giant god emperor's arms and wings enveloped him, Luo Feng couldn't evade, being embraced in an instant. Under the onslaught of 100 ancestors, the battle array of the Lord's side was already under great stress. With the giant god emperor and the others working together, Luo Feng's movement technique was not as proficient as that of the Starlight Lord and others. Crucially, he was resisting the ancestors' encirclement, unable to hide or escape. A mere face-off and he was entangled by the giant god emperor and the others. Good. Target the 2 with the strongest physical bodies. The ancestors were invigorated. Among the 8 lords, Wu Lan and Luo Feng were the most capable of withstanding power, playing a significant role in the battle array, especially Luo Feng, who could quickly restore his companions to the pinnacle. To deal with Luo Feng and Wu Lan, previously the strength of the Infinite Snake Ancestors and others was insufficient, and the Infinite Snake Ancestor, Silent Extinction Ancestor, Inference Fire Ancestor together could only ensure confining one. With the giant god emperor and the others together, they could ensure the confinement of another lord. Who? After confining Luo Feng, the giant god emperor and the others immediately retreated as their enormous sizes and broad domain ranges significantly affected the other ancestors' encirclement. Upon this retreat, the giant god emperor and the others withdrew into the group of ancestors. Confine me. With the giant god emperor and others jointly suppressing him, as Luo Feng entered the ancestor group, his eyes turned icy. Explode for me. In an instant, Luo Feng's physical body vanished. His physical body transformed into energy, all of it pouring into the 10,000,000,008,000,000 origins. The 10,000,000,008,000,000 origins was already saturated with energy. As it was forcibly poured, the 10,000,000,008,000,000 origins suddenly contracted. Subsequently, it erupted into an endless dazzling energy storm, instantly shredding all obstructions and bindings. Bang 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 bang. This video will end here.